But imagine if God had come to you and said, there is this magnificent person needs to be born for 19 years. Would you please be the mother of this child for 19 years? What would you say? I was sure she would say yes. She said, absolutely not. I said, well, then it's a good thing he didn't ask you.
בפסיכולוגיה של העתיד, התת-מודע לא חשוב, אלא העל-מודע הוא מה שחשוב. בפסיכולוגיה של העתיד, ההתמקדות והנבירה בעצמי לא חשוב, התרומה שלי לזולת, זה מה שחשוב. בפסיכולוגיה של העתיד, הקשיים, הכאב, הטראומות הם בסך הכל הזדמנות אדירה להתגברות, לנתינה, לתיקון. הפחד מהמוות הוא הפחד הכי גדול שלנו. אנחנו פוחדים למות בעצמנו או שאנשים שקרובים לנו ימותו. תרבויות עתיקות עשו הכל כדי לתקשר עם המתים, בגלל שהמוות היה דבר אפל, סופי ומלא באי-ודאות. הפסיכולוגיה המודרנית מגדירה שהפחד מהמוות נמצא בתת המודע שלנו ומהווה את השורש לכל הפחדים והפוביות. האם יש דרך להתמודד עם הפחד למות? אני אלעד בן אלול, וברוכים הבאים לפסיכולוגיה של העתיד. אני רוצה לדבר עם הרב מניס היום על הנושא של מוות, כמה הוא שורשי אצלנו, כמה הפחד ממנו יכול לנהל לנו את כל החיים. מה הפסיכולוגיה של העתיד אומרת?
Let's get a definition. What's dead? If we really want to understand it properly, life doesn't begin and life doesn't end. It continues. So when is the fetus alive? When the father is born. And then that life continues in the fetus. Not only that. Vayipach ba'apav nishmat chayim. Where did this chayim come from? From God himself. He didn't create it. It's part of him. He is a living being, and a little piece of him is life. Life never started. It always was, and it always will be. A living thing can't die. Life can't die. It's a contradiction. So the neshama, the nefesh, does not die. So the guf dies. Hey, the guf was never alive. The guf borrowed life from the neshama. So to say the guf died? Not really. It was never alive.
אז החיים הם נצחיים, הם התחילו לפני הגוף, והם ממשיכים אחרי הגוף, לכן יש פה איזשהו רצף גדול יותר, שאתה חלק ממנו, וככל שאני מתקרב לזקנה, או שאני מתקרב למוות, אני לא מתקרב לסוף, אני פשוט מתקרב לאיזשהו שינוי. אבל בכל זאת השינוי הזה, ההיפרדות הזו מהגוף, ומכל מה שסובב את הגוף, וכל האנשים שקשורים אליי פה בעולם הזה, והתענוגות שקשורים לעולם הזה, היא בכל זאת אולי, גם אם אני מקבל את זה שזה לא סוף היותי, גם אם אני מקבל את זה שהחיים שלי ממשיכים, יש פה עדיין אולי פרידה שמאוד קשה לי לשאת.
Yes, like going overseas. Yeah. It's very sad and everybody's crying, goodbye, goodbye. Not death. So what is death? Death means the combination of body and soul ran out of time. Because you're given a certain amount of time. The proper understanding, a nefesh doesn't die, doesn't mean it'll continue to live. It means it'll continue to be itself. If you stop being you, it's death. We don't stop being who we are. We don't stop being related to the people we're related to. The person remains himself. That's what it means that it continues to live. Not it becomes generic energy.
איך מתמודדים עם האבלות הזו? דווקא ההבנה שכן, הוא נמצא והוא עדיין הוא, ויש אותו, אבל לי אין אותו.
Yeah, but it's a big difference. It's a huge difference. When your father is home, you talk to him. When he's at the office, in the olden days, call him on the phone. When he's overseas, you have to write him a letter. Airmail. So the style of communication changes, but there is someone to talk to communicate with. Let me tell you an incredible story. I flew to Argentina to speak. When I got there, I was so miserable from the flight. It was bad. I'm expecting that the shliach picks me up, the shliach in Argentina, takes me to the hotel. He says, there's a woman who had a terrible tragedy and she's very depressed, doesn't want to talk to anybody, but she agreed to talk to you. So we're going to stop on the way to the hotel. We're going to stop at her apartment and you'll talk to her. I was very upset. You made an appointment, you didn't ask me, you didn't warn me, and it has to be on the way to the hotel, it can't be tomorrow? I was really upset. But she's waiting. So you have to go. We go, and I can tell you this woman was not among the living. There was no life in her. Her voice was dead. Her eyes were dead. The room felt like death. She hadn't left the room in 6 months. And so she tells me what happened. 19-year-old son died in a car accident. Then she tells me how great this boy was. Such a good person, such a kind person, such an edel person, on and on. What am I going to say? So I said, boy, that's a great kid. He was such a good person. And you had him for 19 years. She looked at me like, are you crazy? So I said, it's the shock, the surprise that is so hurtful, so damaging, so depressing. But imagine if God had come to you and said, there is this magnificent person needs to be born for 19 years. And God asks you, would you please be the mother of this child for 19 years? What would you say? I was sure she would say yes. She said, absolutely not. I said, well, then it's a good thing he didn't ask you.
Wow.
The tears opened up. She started to sob like it's been waiting 6 months. And after 20 minutes, she was alive. She came back to life in front of my eyes. It was scary. It was so good, it was scary. Okay, so then we're in the car going to the hotel. And I'm thinking how upset I was that they didn't ask me. And I realized if they had asked me, I would have said absolutely not. And it would have been the wrong answer. It's so good they didn't ask me. Because that experience, wow. I wouldn't give it up for anything. So I decided, anytime I'm asked to do something, my answer is yes.
מדהים.
15 years later, I'm invited to speak in Mexico.
Okay.
I land in Mexico. Guy picks me up. We're driving through this terrible, terrible traffic. You can't move. Going to the hotel. And all of a sudden, the driver says to me, this is not Argentina. I'm taking you straight to the hotel. He had heard the story. I said, wow, that's nice. Thank you very much. He says, at the hotel, there's a couple waiting for you who had a terrible tragedy. And they won't talk to anybody, but they agreed to talk to you, so you'll talk to them. I was not happy. Can't wait another hour, can't wait. No, they're going to the airport. Now is the time, now. Okay? I come in, this beautiful couple, young. Their tragedy was that they had a 6-year-old daughter who died of an aneurysm, which means like instant death. And they weren't home when it happened. They are so angry. They are so hurt. They used to put on tefillin, no more. He used to be shomer Shabbat, no more. In fact, they want to leave the community. He said to me something really amazing. He said, you know why I'm so angry at God? Because I love him, and he stabbed me in the back. They showed me a picture of this little girl. I almost fainted. Like an angel. I knew everybody already told him everything there is to say, so I had to say something ridiculous, right? So I said, has your daughter spoken to you yet? Visited you? He was a little surprised. He says, yes, twice. I said, what did she say? She didn't say anything. She smiled to let me know that she's okay. I said, why do you think she had to come twice? I think it's because she's 6 years old and she needs her father. And you abandoned her because you became a mourner instead of a father. She's 6 years old. She needs her father. What are you doing to her? It's her fault that you're not keeping Shabbos anymore? It's her fault that you're miserable? It's her fault that you're not putting on tefillin anymore? She doesn't need this. She needs you to be her father. So what are you doing for her? In other words, the relationship never changed. She's still a 6-year-old girl who needs her father. But you changed. You became a full-time griever, a full-time mourner. Hey, go back to being a father and take care of your daughter. It's amazing. In 15 minutes, he said, should I put on the tefillin here or wait till I get home? Then I understood why in Argentina, what I said started the tears and the healing. I asked her, if God would say to you, I have this child, would you be its mother for 19 years? She said no. And that shocked her. A mother says no to her child? In other words, it brought back her mother identity, her mother relationship. She had stopped being the mother. She became the angry mourner. Now that I said to her, wait a minute, this is how you treat your child? You say no to him? Whoa. So the life that continues is not a generic, unidentified, it's your child, it's your son, it's your husband. Why are you quitting when they need you the most?
אנחנו רואים את המוטיב הזה, באמת בפסיכולוגיה של העתיד, שההבראה האמיתית היא באמת להוציא את הפוקוס מהעצמי. אז זה לא שלי קרה שאני עכשיו אבל, או אני עכשיו שקול, או אני עכשיו זה, אלא שמערכת היחסים שלי עברה איזושהי מטמורפוזה עם אדם שזקוק לי. אולי זקוק לי יותר מאי פעם. וברגע שאני אהיה עדיין חלק מהמערכת היחסים הזו, זאת אומרת, אני עדיין אהיה מחויב להבין למה הוא זקוק לי. אפילו שהוא עכשיו אולי בגן עדן, יש עדיין פעולות מסוימות שהוא זקוק שאני אעשה פה, אז זה ממילא גם יקל הרבה יותר על האבלות.
So why is that future? What's going to be in the future that makes this important? In the future, all those neshamot will come back to their body. Because they're still characters, they're still people. Hem halchu, and the same way that they went, they're going to come back. They didn't stop existing. It's not over, it's not finished. Not even the body, because that neshama wants to come back to its body. That's the love of life. The love of life is the neshama wants to be in a body.
בתפילת העמידה אנחנו אומרים, ברוך אתה השם מחיה המתים. אז מתי זה יקרה? זה יקרה.
So you have to say that it's a process that's already happening. It already started. If you want to know what life is, you have to know that the dead are coming back. Now you know what life is.
תודה רבה. תודה.